What up, everybody? It's your boy Evan, one half of MF Pearl. We got the other half sitting behind the camera, making sure that we rolling. We got David back there.
Hey, everyone.
Yes, sir. And you know what it is? Wednesdays. You know the drill. Live at MFHQ. Disclaimer. Live at MFHQ is in fact not recorded live. It's actually a pre-recorded program. This episode contains sexually explicit content, so feel free to do what you wish with that information. If you could be so kind of like, follow, and subscribe for me. We go a very long way. New episodes every Wednesday. Now back to the show. Yes, sir. Another Wednesday, another legend in the building. You know how it is. As always, we've been appreciating the support. We've been doing great. I know y'all saw that episode 32 of Midnight Sessions. It's been doing numbers. Podcast has been doing great. And it's all thanks to our great guests, our great musicians, and of course, our great audience that's showing love all the time. So if you guys can keep doing that, make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys like this or rate it, whatever you can do on whatever platform you're checking it out on, Spotify, Apple Pod, Amazon, or of course, YouTube. Just make sure to show love. We appreciate it every time, and it helps us grow the channel, helps us keep doing what we do. Today, special episode, we got our homies from Old Sheepdog sponsoring. Shout out to Gus. Shout out to the entire team. Got a few brews to go ahead and sip on while we chit chat. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Gus. He'll be the sponsor for today's episode. Always a rare occasion. Always Gus. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it, man. That was a lot of freestyling right there. That was tough, but got one more at bat. You know what I'm saying? Man. Came across each other through the power of music. When good music is floating around, people will find it, and I would say that that's how we probably discovered each other. But since then, we've been slowly coming across one another again, and then it becomes more intentional over time. But just getting to learn about this man's journey through music, how he fits into the music community in El Paso, and the part that I've known at a bit of a surface level, and I'm excited to learn a little bit more, is what he's been going ahead and battling with along the entire way. So it's going to be a great talk. If you've been to Tin Man, Craft and Social, some Old Sheepdog, I know you've seen him spinning the tables. So without further ado, episode 12, live at MFHQ. We got Midnight at the Laundromat.
Hey,
Jeremy, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you guys.
Sir.
First and foremost, man, thank you guys for having me. Like, you guys have no idea how dope this is for me.
Awesome.
Watch.
Oh, look at that, bro. Now it's official.
We're supposed to have some barks by now. We have it, but we haven't put it in yet. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No. But for real, man, like, really, thank y'all so much, man. This is dope. And then I got to see this whole thing unfold right now, the way you guys set up and all that shit. Like, that's working its own, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
That's nuts, man. So that's crazy. So shout out to y'all for that, bro, because you guys are doing work.
It was nice and clean because this was the 12th episode. It took us a while to set up, but that's how we do it. You know what I mean? We always grow every time, every iteration. Everything's a repetition to get better at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like the first 3, I would say you guys had like real hard issues, like trials and tribulations.
No, not so much issues, but we were like still fine tuning lighting.
Yeah.
My intro was choppy at first, man. So like, it's a lot of things have gotten better.
You glided through that pretty well, bro.
That was pretty smooth.
It was smooth, man. I mean, gotta hand it to you on that one. I thought, oh shit, you've done this before plenty of times. Only to find out 12.
Yeah,
bro, you on your way.
I mean, I rehearsed, dog. I rehearsed in the mirror and shit. You know what I'm saying? But
you would like rehearse in the car, like when you're driving here. You were like, oh god, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, to an extent, you know. I can't ever overthink it because unless I'm like rehearsing what I wrote, there's no point. It's always gonna end up coming out different. Like by the time we're over here with the lights and stuff, it's not so much nerve wracking, but it's like, oh shit, you know, show's on. So like it's always gonna shuffle everything I've been rehearsing on the way over here anyway. So,
but it's more organic that way though.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I think people feel that resonates with people.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to keep it like that. I don't want to like be reading too much off of like cards or anything. So that's obviously becomes a responsibility to make sure I'm prepared beforehand.
You know, and I was actually thinking about writing shit down like on my phone, and I was like, what are we doing? Don't make it harder than what it needs to be.
Nah, I mean it's all right to be a little prepared and whatnot, but I think what we've tried to establish here is just it being organic conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I think the only thing that I was kind of concerned about is like cameras in my face. Like I'm like Talladega Nights. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands. You know what I mean, bro? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Nah, you just relax, just chill. But what's up, man? For the audience, for everybody, along with us too, along with David as well, can you go ahead and just give us a breakdown of Minute at the Laundromat? It's a small little background of where you are within the music community.
Man, you know what? I've kind of been bouncing around a little bit. Kind of started off on a tablet, bro. And this kind of ties into the whole story about what you mentioned earlier about my battle in life and what I do. But it all started off with a tablet, bro. I was sitting in a hospital room, and I asked my wife, like, "Hey, can you bring me my tablet, please? Because I'm gonna be bored out of my mind." And I got this little shitty little like DJ app on there, and I could mix music. So I was downloading crazy music off of like YouTube and SoundCloud and stuff like that. And then I was just mixing it on this tablet, and it was coming out pretty good. And then I got sick, and I remember telling her, I was like, if I don't get back into this music thing, I'm never gonna forgive myself, because I used to DJ back in the day in high school. Like, I was rocking 2 turntables, the CD players, like a mixer. So I had a 4 channel mixer. Like, I was doing it that way. And every weekend we travel out. Every weekend my friends would be on the streets, and I would just take my table and I take all my equipment with me, because we'd show up at a house party and be like, "Hey man, there's no DJ here. You guys want one?" Like that kind of thing. That's how it kind of started. But I digress, man. So that whole thing came up with a tablet, and then just over time, man, I just kept building and building and building. And I know you know Jay, right? Shout out to Jay. Mixing with Jay. That guy's one of the dudes that pushed me the most, bro. He was like, "Hey, man, you got to do something with this. Put this stuff out. This music you're finding, your style, everything you're doing, you need to keep doing something with that, man. You can't just sit in your garage, doing nothing and playing music." And I said, well, I mean, that's how SoundCloud started. And that's how it's been over time. And then through Gus, because of, Jay, bro, I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just trying to be cool in my room, man. I like doing mixes. I like recording. And that's all I was doing. And with Jay, he started reaching out to Gus and talking to all these people. And, hey, man, this guy, my boy, my boy, my boy. And that's how I started playing with Sheepdog. Like, that's how that whole thing happened. And then we were playing for the pandemic, which was cool, man, because like during the pandemic, you can only get like in line and buy beer and a growler and then leave. And Gus was cool enough to be like, well, I mean, just come sit here and play, man. Even if it was just Gus. Some days nobody would show up, and it would just be me playing just to Gus and Jay. And it was just one of those things that kind of like, I think the DJ, I think today's how can I say, like, as a DJ, man, I think it's a very ego driven um profession, I guess, or craft, because you get bummed if there's not like a room that's packed, or you feel like, oh man, I'm not doing enough. And to start that way and have like nobody there, and you're just happy doing it, like, I was like, nah, this is my passion. I don't give a shit. I don't have to play to a room. And the same energy that I give to a room of 5 is the same energy I'll give to a room of 100, 1,000, or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna pull back because the lack of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that went down, and that's kind of like where all that started. And then through there, I met like the art galleries, Diego Robot, all those people. And then they were like, "Hey man, we'll come spin at the gallery," which was perfect for me, man. I mean, I know you've heard my shit. I'm pretty laid back as far as my music selection goes.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
like,
hip-hop.
that's perfect. I'll just spin shit that's gonna be vibey. It's gonna have a lot of melody and tones and stuff like that, instrumentals and stuff. And it was like, it just fit that bill perfectly. So that's just kind of how I started going.
Yeah.
And then over time, little gigs here and there, you get picked up at, other spots, and you just say, all right, cool, I'll rock with it. But right now things have been chill, but I'm like where life is right now for me. Because I'm running into people like you, bro, and now you, David, and like people that are like minded, and they're working out of passion and drive. It's not ego driven. You know what I mean? You guys are like doing this something because you guys love it. You guys are doing something that you guys are pushing the art community forward, pushing people in the industry that are like, you didn't have to do something like this, man, but you guys are like pushing these people to do things and bring them to the attention of the public. And that's super dope, man. You guys got to really pat yourselves on the back for that, man, because that's super like awesome, man. That's dope.
Thanks, appreciate
Appreciate
that.
it, man. Yeah, dude. That's cool. We kind of share that in common a little bit, because when we I guess the pandemic shut down season 3 for us, so we kind of like took a pause. But after that, we also went ahead and after season 4, it was a big thing, and I think we were still like fresh off of the pandemic. Still, it was still like hot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Gus was one of the first people that like sponsored us again, like on our kind of like our rebirth time too. So that's cool that we kind of shared in common. I didn't realize that old Sheepdog was almost a new chapter for you. I didn't know that it was one of the first places. You want to crack one open?
That was the shit, yeah, man.
Yeah, the Gustav's right here. It's that second one.
Let me get that one.
I'm gonna share one with you if you
Cool.
don't mind, because I love that Gustav, to be honest.
Oh, bro, hell yeah, man. Gus went off on that one, bro.
Man, what was you on with that one, Gus? Damn.
Yeah. They got busy on that one, bro. They put those fermenters to the.
I like the way that
test,
sounds.
bro.
He got busy with that one.
He got busy.
He was in the lab.
Oh, he was. He was like a fucking beer chemist, man. And Gus is all love, bro.
Oh yeah.
Gus is all like, that's a good dude, man. Like he's a solid person, man. Good man. His family is wonderful, beautiful people too, bro.
He's another one that works on passion.
Yeah, he does, bro. Thank you, brother. Cheers. Can't go wrong with that one.
Shout out Gus with the Gustav.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. So then let's go into that a little bit. Gus, or not necessarily Gus, but like Old Sheepdog is one of the first venues that you started to really spin at.
That was the first venue I spun at.
And then before that, it was parties. You know, starting off in high school.
Well, before that, it was just like art galleries. Again, like Jay went and hit up Diego, and they had the
Across the
gallery
street?
across the street. Yeah,
It was across the street.
so he was like, "Yeah, man, you guys come and play in that dark room and just get busy." You know, again, whether it was 2 people in there walking around or nobody, you know, it was just us. So it was a cool situation to have just to start playing out and get, you know, your feet wet with that. Before that, it was just high school stuff. Like, you know, just go with the homies on Friday night. Hey, man, there's a party over here. Just throw everything in the back of the truck, man. And that's just that's how I got my original start, man. And then I sucked. I didn't realize how bad I was in high school, dude. I go and get a gig at 101. Like I'm 18, bro, and at 101,
Crazy.
and like terrible, bro, like terrible. I had no, I could DJ. I knew the functions. I knew what to do, but as far as like beat matching so well, mixing in certain elements, like I wasn't.
You're talking about the way like you were telling me last time when we were
Yeah.
at your crib?
Yeah.
How you like find BPMs and keys and all
Yeah,
that?
keys and stuff like that. Yeah, I like to do things melodically. That's one of my biggest things with like DJing is that I want to do it melodically. It's gotta be clean. Transitions for me are everything, man. If you have a shitty transition, I mean, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh yeah, dude.
And that'll kill a party, bro. I've seen who was it? I saw a DJ the other day said Red Alert. He was saying if you look at a crowd and you see them bobbing their head, it needs to be continuous. He says once you see people kind of stop during a transition, then that means your transition's all off, man. Like you've kind of ruined that force, that energy. So he says you got to keep people with their heads bobbing. So that's always been something that kind of stayed with me, bro. Like I cannot allow myself to do like shit transitions.
It breaks the energy, like the flow of the.
It does. It just ruins the flow of everything, man. Like everything. It just kind of just stops, and it makes people kind of take one of those W2F moments. Like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, fucking guy. You know what I mean? So yeah, bro. I like to keep it clean, keep everything in key, and keep everything nice and tight, man. Because I want everybody to keep coming back and listening, man. That's a big thing for me.
Those are some of those things that I feel like the listener doesn't even realize that's what they're appreciating too much. Like they know what they're feeling, like the transition was smooth and all that, but I don't think they realize it's because of the fact that you're matching maybe BPMs. Like if you asked me before you had told me, I would have never guessed matching keys.
Tones, yeah, keys.
But I mean BPMs I would have imagined like, yeah, it makes sense. Like within all my time of music, like that's something that you would want to match in transitions.
Yeah, that's one thing that I love that people tell me, and I hear it often. When people hear me and they're like, "Hey, man, I didn't even know, bro." Like I was like, "How the fuck did I get here?" You started off with this, and then 3 or 4 or 5 songs later, I'm like, "Whoa, where did we get here?" Like, I didn't even notice it.
Progression,
Yeah,
though.
I didn't
Progression.
even notice that things were changing, and that's to me is like that's where the money is, bro. I'm like, yes, that. That's the essence of it. That's the beauty of it.
It's fine art.
Getting lost in the mix and then finding yourself at a different point.
Man,
different song.
I go into such a flow. It's weird. You've seen Soul, right? That, bro. That's what happens to me. That's what it feels like. Where like everything around me just kind of shuts off, man. I don't even feel like I'm not even picking the music anymore. The music's picking itself. Like I'm just hearing it and I'm like, oh shit, boom, 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 and my poor wife, man, like I'm working in in my room and I'm practicing whatever, and I'm caught up in this flow state, man. And she'll walk in, I'm oh fuck, you scared the shit out of me, man. I'm sorry, I knocked. I just like I just get lost in it, man. It's crazy, and that's a really great place for me to be, man. I feel so at peace when I'm there.
Yeah, that flow state.
Were you able to do that naturally, or did you practice to get to that mental state, that flow?
It just happens, man. I mean, as far as like I meditate and stuff like that, so I have a better understanding of like myself and the way my mind works and the way things process. But nah, man, I just fall into that flow state and just get locked there.
When did you pick up meditation? I know we talked about it a little bit, but
Back in 2016.
what was your early approach to it? Like, did you think it was sitting cross-legged and stuff? Like, is that what you ended up going with, or?
Nah, man, I tried doing everything, bro. Now I lay down. Maybe it's like meditators might be like, nah, you shouldn't do that. But hell, I'm comfortable, man. I'm trying to get my mind. So if I'm laying down or sitting, what difference does it make, you know? But in 2016 is when I started picking up that practice. Started dealing with some anxiety. Wasn't really sure where that was coming from. So I've always been somebody that if something happens to me, I jump right in, bro. I bathe in the fire. I jump into shit immediately. Hands, like everything. All hands on deck. Let's figure out what the fuck is going on. So when that happened, that's when I was dealing with some anxiety, which I've never really had or never realized it was anxiety all my life until I guess it got to a point where I was like, what's going on? Things just aren't vibing right now. So that's kind of where the meditation practice came from. And I try to do it daily, man. 20 minutes, 15 minutes a day.
Like a morning thing?
Yeah, every morning.
And you wake up early,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
find the time to do it.
Yeah, it's the best time to do it, man. Take a cold plunge in the shower or whatever, wake everything up, get all the fucking
Senses.
all the senses and cobwebs out of you, and then just hit it, man. Dive in. 15 minutes, bro. Some frequencies, binaural frequencies, or what are they called? Affirmations and shit like that. But always stay with the breath, man. Always stay and key with it. Don't ever lose sight of the breath, man. And that's been a dope thing for me, man. It's been a saving grace. There's so much that I've taken from meditation that I just tell people sometimes, hey, you just need to meditate, yo. And they're like, oh, I don't know how. I mean, it sounds weird, man. But just sit there and shut the fuck up and stay with your breath. Don't do anything else. I mean, whatever you start thinking of something, just bring yourself back. Because it's real easy, man. I don't know if you guys meditate or if you've tried it, but like as soon as you close your eyes and you start paying attention to your breath, like things just go elsewhere. Like you start thinking about something you got to tell somebody else, or that motherfucker that pissed you off at work or something, and you never really get into it. But then all of a sudden you get mad at yourself and you go, ah, man, I'm supposed to be doing this. And that's the whole thing of meditation. Like, no, bring it back. Just keep bringing it back. But nah, that shit saved me, man. Meditation is a big part of my life. So I know I told you, and I'm pretty sure we're going to touch on it, but when I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, that's something that I had to do a lot, is meditate, bro. You're sitting in a room for, how long was it? 4 hours of MRIs? 5 hours? Something like that. Straight. MRIs in this tube, bro. And all I was just breathing, man. Just staying there. All this havoc's going around. All this uncertainty's going around. All this crazy shit's running through your head. Like, what's going on? And then meditation was the one thing, man, that just kind of helped me get through it. And even more so when they did the spinal punctures, because that's a definitive way to find it if you have MS, is spinal punctures. So they have to do that. And as you know, there's a needle going into your back, man. You have to sign a waiver. Well, if things go haywire, you might not be able to walk. So you have to sign this form. So yeah, man, you're there, but there they are with needles and shit, and you're trying to get into your spinal fluid, and you can't. You just got to sit there, man. You can't move. So meditation was another one of those things that just the whole time was just chilling. It was cool.
Aside from it being a very delicate process, is it like if you move, is that what like increases the risk of like what is it, paralyzation, I guess? Is it something that the sensation is ridiculously painful, or is it just like a burning?
They gave me a local anesthetic.
Okay.
But it wasn't. It was weird, bro. They go into your spine, right, and then like you're just sitting on, you're laying on your stomach or in a fetal position, right, and they go into your spine, and then like your leg will move, or your foot will like shake a certain way, and they'll be like, "Oh no, that's just the nerves, man. Don't worry, everything's okay." And I'm
That's
like,
just the nerves.
Yeah.
"It's just the nerves. Like, you guys just made me kick." You know?
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it a little bit. Can you like help me understand MS a little bit better?
Yeah, man. Multiple sclerosis. It's a snowflake disease. And I'm really glad to be talking about it, man, because I hadn't really I hadn't identified with it, and I really made a really hard push to not identify with it, only to kind of later on figure out like, well, this is just who I am. This is what I'm. This is just the mountain I gotta move. So, it's a snowflake disease, man. It affects 2 million people in the United States. That's it. That's not a lot when you consider how many people in the U.S.
That's what you mean by snowflake?
Yeah, because it affects everybody differently as well. I mean, MS is one of those things that it'll take from you, man, and for the most part, people can gain it back, whatever they lost, um, or had to struggle with. But there's a lot of people that can go blind, deaf, lose their ability to walk, motor functions in their hands. I mean, it just affects so much of the body. And what it is it's the body attacking itself. So, you have these little antibodies or whatever, what have you, that run around and check. And if it's a bad cell or something that's bad, it attacks it, right? So what this does is it attacks the myelin sheath, and that's like you have a nerve, right? And if you think about a myelin sheath, it's like your charger, the cord for the charger. That plastic that's wrapping it, that's the equivalent to that. So the body says, hey, I don't like that, or we need to get rid of that. So it starts to eat itself. So once that happens, then the nerve gets exposed, and then that's where people start to have issues with vision, walking, talking, hearing, all the kind, anything, because it affects the brain and the spine. It hits the nervous system pretty hard. And for me, it just kind of, I didn't lose my ability to walk, but it was walking like the best way I could explain it was like it was walking on two balloons filled with sand. Like, and you're trying to walk on this, and then you're walking flat. You know there's nothing there, but you feel like you're just walking on something. And then it started with that, and I started losing sensation in my feet, all the way up to my rib cage.
This is progressing over the course of like how long?
7 months.
7 months?
It was happening quick.
How long did it take for you to think, whoa, something's up? Was it like month one where you're like, okay, I gotta go get something checked out?
Well, nah, bro. So what I started doing is, like I said, man, I started working out. I said, well, if my body's going through something, working out's gonna be the best way to heal that. So I was working out, man. And one thing I didn't know with MS is that it makes you very heat intolerant. So if you get real hot, bro, and you overheat, the brain has a hard time sending signals to the nerves as it is with heat. So when you have MS, it makes it tenfold as far as like how hard it is. So my dumb ass is getting home from work, dude, and I'm going and working out in the garage where I have my home gym, and it's like 115 degrees in there. So I have like no idea why I'm working out so hard, and then when I walk out of the garage, I'm like struggling to get in against the wall, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I can take a hot shower, not knowing that, oh shit, this is something that's causing all this. You just don't know. And I didn't know either. But like I said, over 7 months, I was dealing with symptoms and dealing with issues. And then finally I went to the doctor, and they said, nah, let's just send him for an MRI, like stat. And even when I got to the hospital, dude, they were like, well, it's real hard to do MRIs. I was like, it says stat, bitch. That means like now, like, let's go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just one of those. Stat. Yeah, it was stat, bro. Come on, man. Just stop playing around. Man. I got insurance. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Which is, it's tragic, man. I mean.
What year is this? 2016?
2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I got my first symptoms Valentine's Day of 2017. Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, it's not the way Valentine's Day is supposed to go. And that's when I started dealing with those struggles. And then over time, it was just one little thing and then another little thing. And okay, well, I could only feel like my shin was tingling. But now, like, I touch my legs and they're both tingling. And it's like, you just don't have that sensation, man. I didn't, so it was coming on pretty hard. My body was doing some work. It was getting busy. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it was one of those things that just kind of, once we found out the diagnosis and once I found out the diagnosis, it was like, cool, man. Nice to meet you. Now, I got to carry you with me everywhere I go, so then we'll get on my back, bitch. It's going to get heavy, but let's go.
So then, is it a curable disease?
No, as of right now, there's no cure, man.
Okay.
And it usually leads on to a primary progressive, which most times makes people like in a wheelchair or something like that. But not everyone, you know. It just depends on diet, exercise, mindfulness practices. I mean, a lot of stuff that I was already had in motion prior to the diagnosis, like was already it was you know it was already kind of I was already doing stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's just about like keeping it fine tuned and not getting lazy, man. Because shit for 2 years I was sober, nothing to drink. Um, I haven't had a Coke in like since 2016, bro. I don't even know. I forgot what Dr. Pepper tastes like. I don't eat refined sugars. Boy, sugars like
23 flavors, bro. 23 flavors.
bro. That's the best damn chemical they could have made, bro. Dr. Pepper is nuts. I love that shit.
Man, I'm a Coca-Cola guy.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I don't
like Dr. Pepper, don't get me wrong, but Coca-Cola for sure.
Doesn't Coca-Cola make Dr. Pepper?
Maybe. I don't think so.
I think they're the ones. I think they're the parent company, right? Because isn't Pepsi have like Mr. Pibb?
I think so.
Which is bullshit, by the way, Mr. Pibb. That's a bullshit name.
Mr. Pibb. Yeah, Dr. Pepper goes way harder. Bro.
Yeah.
That's more iconic for sure.
Yeah, bro. Come on.
See, Coca-Cola and Pepsi are like, yeah, those are more competitors. Dr. Pepper and Mr. Pibb.
There's no, nah, bro.
That's Little League.
Yeah, that's Bush League, bro. That's bullshit. But yeah, man, because of that whole deal, I had to get really holistic on my approach to everything in life, man. Like everything. So
okay, so what's been your approach in that sense? Like, does it come with like a lot of like medication and stuff like that?
yeah, man.
Have you had to try to like balance?
It comes with a lot of medications, man, because I have different issues that are caused from MS. So I have a medication for this, I have a medication for that, and then I got to take this, and but you got to take that. So the shitty thing, man, is that MS is such a terrible disease, right? That the medication is very expensive.
Yeah.
If people don't have insurance, man, you're looking at paying 15, 20 grand a month. And I'm lucky enough to pay $15 a month. And that's just because, insurance, man. I mean, I'm lucky enough to have to work for. I'm lucky enough and blessed enough to work for a company that has me pretty good insurance, man. So I get to stay pretty good, stay healthy with it. And I've only had one relapse, so I'm hoping that's the only one, man. Because if it happens again, then you gotta go to the hospital. You sit there for a week because they gotta give you steroids.
Relapse in the sense of what?
Like if I have another issue, like so what'll happen is like once it starts to break through, like once it does something in the brain, you get lesions and stuff. Like on MRIs and stuff, you see certain like white lesions in the brain, and that's how you know that the MS has attacked that area. Or they also measured it to like if your brain's shrinking. It's one of those illnesses like that. So that's how they can tell if you have something active or if it's a scar. So I can't do MRIs, bro. Oh my bad. I can't do MRIs because I mean I can, but that's like a $3,000 just for them to look at me and say, oh yeah, everything looks all right, or your brain hasn't shrunk. Yeah, man, but $3 grand, bro. I mean it speaks volumes to the what is it, the industry, the health industry and insurance companies and stuff. I mean, it's sad, man. It's really sad that people that don't have insurance can't get certain care, or are forced to live without that care. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not gonna get on a box and say it should be free. I don't know any of that, but I just think it's just things can be better.
Yeah,
for everybody, just for the collective, just as a society, everybody like, come on, man, we gotta do better than this.
Yeah.
And that's really sad. But I mean, aside from that, I mean, that's been one of the difficult parts of it. And most people with MS have a lot of medical expenses, a lot. So I mean, I think every morning, counting my supplements, I take about 7 pills every day, first thing in the morning. Which it sucks, man. You got a liver, you want to enjoy a drink and stuff, but now you got to worry about the medications too.
Yeah. What were the first couple of years like? Were you like kind of upset about it? Like, and I know you said like you put it on your back and then you're like, let's go. Got to carry you with me.
I was like that from the jump, bro.
You think so?
I was
No, I'm sorry. Not you think so. Not to say like that. I don't mean that. Locked in
Yeah.
from the jump. There wasn't like a angry period where you were just mad. Maybe like you know what I'm saying.
I mean, I think that's natural. I'm pretty sure I was pissed, but I didn't let that affect my day to day, man. I mean, I got wife and kids at home. I can't be in a position where I'm, you know, like all down in the dumps or pissed off or mad at life or why me. And nah, man. I mean, the first thing I just did was say, okay, cool. We got to make some lifestyle changes. That's it. There's no other way around it. You're not gonna run from it, and being mad's not gonna make it go away, and being sad's not gonna make it go away. And I have my sad days, bro. I still get sad. There's still moments in life where I'm like, sometimes be vulnerable. I mean, sometimes you do need to cry and like let that shit out. Like, hey, man, this sucks. I do have this struggle. I do feel this way. I do. Why? I think people with MS. I think we all just wish that we could just experience what life was normally for just one day. If I could get one day, bro, just have my life normal and not worry about nothing, I think I'd be one of the happiest motherfuckers in the world. Just to not, I mean, I'm not struggling, bro. You see me. I walked in here. If you didn't know that I have MS, you wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it's one of those things that if I could just go and have one day, like if someone was like a genie or whatever, you got one wish, man. Give me one day or get rid of it. You know what I mean? If you could. But if you give me one day just to go back to feeling normal, to be carefree about it.
Yeah.
Like to not worry about, man, if it's too hot, summer gigs like that, bro. Summer gigs are like, fuck, I'm gonna be hot. I gotta carry around ice packs with me and ice water and stuff. You gotta keep your temperature cool at all times.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, man. Like I think everybody that has it, like they have that same sentiment. Like, man, I wish it just one day. If I could just do one, that'd be dope.
How is So 2016, you were explaining how you picked up the tablet.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, it's something that I've always loved to do. I've always loved music. And my biggest passion is sharing music, bro. That's my love language, man. If I can find music that you like or she likes, whatever, bro, I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, hell yeah.
Because everybody needs to hear good music, man.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to hear it. And there's too much shitty music going on right now, bro. That we can't allow that, bro. Like we can't gatekeep good music. I know a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people that are guilty of that, I should say.
Unintentionally too. Sometimes you just do it like
it's unintentional because look how wonderful music is, man. You hear a song that makes you feel a certain way. It gives you tingles, it gives you chills, and like you want to have that. It's one of those things like so precious, like my precious. I want to keep it to myself. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that but for me, that does a disservice to everyone, man. Like everyone needs to hear this dope track. Like when I heard your midnight session, bro, I sent that shit to everybody. I really did. I was like, man, this guy's from here, and I was a fan right away. I was like, dude, this dude gets busy. I told my lady about it. I was like, hey, man, like this guy's dope. He's from here. So I mean, I started sharing that shit with everybody, bro. Everyone needs to hear that kind of stuff. Everyone needs to know that's out there. Yes, sir. Dude, this is dope, man. I mean, I have nothing but respect for what you do, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
It's amazing. And then we've been working together a little bit here and there. So I even get to see the process more, which makes me appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I go back, man. I'm sorry I got off on tangent. But,
great,
music, man. Music is everything to me, man. It saved me. It especially hip-hop, bro. Hip-hop saved me for sure, for sure.
Finding the tablet, or not finding it, but like picking it up, same time as getting diagnosed?
Yeah, right around that time.
What was that? How have you kind of combined those? What is your philosophy from getting diagnosed with MS? What sort of bit of that has carried over into music? Knowing that life becomes a lot more precious when you realize that you get a huge reminder of how fragile life could be. Like, how did that shift in your relationship with music too?
Bro, I just kept working. I kept wanting to do more and more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my SoundCloud, I'm gonna do a shameless plug, bro. But I got 130.
Throw it up there, bro.
I got like 130 mixes on there, man. Like,
yeah,
I got a bunch of work. I love to record.
Tons.
If that's one thing that the beginning of the year, I didn't catch very many gigs towards the end of the year too, and I was like, that's cool, man. I'm not somebody that gets beat up about that shit. Like, it sucks, right? But at the same time, do I really want to be carrying all these speakers around every Saturday, every Friday? That shit gets heavy, man. It gets tiring. I want to hang out with my kids, be with my wife and be with my friends and stuff. But that relationship with music and that diagnosis was like hand in hand, man. It gave me something to take my mind off of. It was like a therapy. It made me tap into more creative sources in myself because I want you to feel through my music or through the music what I'm feeling. So if there's a particular intro or something that I use, it's because I want the listener to feel what I'm feeling or what I'm trying to convey. Like during the whole COVID thing, right? Everybody was pushing the shots, and then I went and got my COVID shot, and I got a booster, and then that same year, bro, I ended up in the hospital with a blood, I guess what do they call it? Irregularity or something like that of my blood, and they said, "No, man, you have a marker. You have to be on blood thinners for the rest of your life." I was like, "Man, I never had problems with my blood all my whole entire life. What do you mean?" And that's one of the things I asked the doctor. So like, "Hey, man, is this from the shot?" And they all kind of like unanimously were like, "Well, we don't know." So I'm like, man, so I'm stuck with that too. And aside from the MS, you know what I mean? So now I have to take that other medication.
Yeah.
So, and if you hear that mix, there's a mix that it's called recovery, bro. You ever seen that movie with Matthew McConaughey where he's got AIDS?
Dallas Buyers Club?
That one.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I use that scene where they tell me, "Oh, you have this and you got 30 days," and this whole time I'm throwing this music in the background like on a loop because it sounds like is what I can imagine that's if I could do a movie or score a movie, that's what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would have done that sequence for that movie. That way, you as a listener hear it and you go, "Damn!" You get chills like, "Oh shit!" That makes me feel a certain kind of way. Makes me feel like the anxiety of that this guy has, and that's the kind of anxiety. And I recorded that thing in the hospital too, the whole thing. Everything was done in the hospital.
Off the laptop?
The
tablet?
No. This was going forward. This was in 2020, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. But I had my laptop and I was doing it on the laptop. So I did the whole mix, edited, mastered it, everything, mixed it, everything in the hospital. So when it came out, it was like, I was still gonna do music, man.
Through the wire.
You're not gonna stop me, bro.
That's some through the wire shit.
It's
right there.
exactly through the wire, bro. I'm like, you're not gonna stop me. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Yeah, that's sick, man. That's I applaud it. Like,
Appreciate you, dog.
you know what I mean? I just feel like it's easy to kind of have something like that happen, and I can only speak from the outside looking in, but it just feels like something like that is such a heavy hitter that it's so easy to just let it kind of defeat you. You know what I mean? You might have to go ahead and still go to work the next day and all that stuff, but in this case, like imagine, I mean, damn, I mean the only way I can afford to have this illness is to stay working and stuff. So like physically, like you're gonna end up doing what you got to do, but like mentally, boom, defeated. You know what I mean? And I'm just really happy that like you didn't allow that to happen because of how easy it can be. You know what I mean?
Man, by the grace of people around me, bro. My wife is my rock, bro. So like, one time I remember telling her, man, like, "Hey, look," because we were both working out, and she was losing some weight, and I'm losing some weight, and I said, "Man, look at you, like you're thriving, and I'm breaking down." And she was like, "Don't ever say that again. Like, don't say that shit to yourself. You need to be positive about it. You're not breaking down. You just hit a roadblock, man. But I mean, the only way out is through. So just that's all you can do." I just tend to look at it like I told you guys earlier, like it's like a mountain, right? But I'm a very big believer in showing people that this is a mountain that can be moved. And if I can do it through music too, where you're saying, well, look, somebody who has MS and can function, but they're having, they're going kind of hard on themselves. It's like, well, look, man, this guy's making his dreams come true. He's still doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's still working 8 to 5, 8 to 5, 7 to 5. And he's still, working out. He's still a family man. He still has his kids. He's still, doing his passions on the side. I mean, why can't I? Why would you? I just don't want people to ever feel like they can't do anything, man. They just got to keep moving forward. And I'm a big person like that. Just keep pushing forward. You can't go back. You're not going to do anything else. You got to just keep pushing forward at all times. And just in life, man, just in life, period. you got to keep pushing forward.
You chosen, or I'm sorry, have you gotten integrated into? I'm sure there's like a community behind MS.
There is a community here, and I feel terrible, man, the MS community, but because every time they have their meetings, I got to work, and it's usually on
Oh, okay,
Saturday,
okay.
and it's like once a month. And then, man, these people are amazing, man. I mean, amazing individuals, beautiful people, and they're doing a great deal for people in the city that have MS. There's a young lady that was 13 years old that she has MS. I mean, imagine, bro. I found out in what was it, like 27, 28, maybe 29, somewhere around there. 27 years old, and this little girl is like 13, and you talk about shaking someone's world up, man. I mean, already my life was already like, that ship's already sailing. That ship's barely getting started, and now you got to sit there and start looking at, how she has to live, and her parents are supportive as fuck, dude. I mean, that's one thing that I miss about that group, that support group, is everybody there is like, and then they talk about cool shit too, man. Like, hey guys, you know what? There's gonna be a doctor that's a neurologist, and he's gonna be at the Marriott. I mean, you guys should go listen to him, hear what he says. They're gonna talk about the latest breakthroughs, all that stuff. So like, you guys should go check it out. And it usually comes with free dinner, man. So like, people go and they'll listen to this doctor talk, and he'll even take questions and stuff like that. So you can talk to him and get something out of it, man. I mean, there's a community of people here. And they're a very beautiful community. Good people.
Were they a part of the? Because the beer release that you had.
Yeah, man, they were there too.
Oh,
A lot of them showed up from that event. And again, see, I would go back to Gus, man. I love that dude.
Yeah.
I hit him up with the idea, and hey, man, I want to do a beer for MS Awareness Month, which is March. And I want to see if you can help me out, but I want to keep it orange themed. So if we could make orange, we use orange in the beer, which he did. And he knows the way I eat. I eat mostly like probably 80% organic. Even he went out and got like organic sherbet and organic ingredients to make that beer. So
Man,
he
I
even
would've
went.
thrown on some orange right now had I known.
Yeah, see, bro, it's all good, man. It's all good. I didn't wear any orange. But I mean, that was stuff like that was able to raise awareness. I got the news to come out, and
Nice.
they kicked it a little bit. I got to meet Jerry Naheda, which was fucking cool. That guy's cool as hell. And Fox got out there and just they talked to me a little bit, and I had all the people I didn't even realize there's certain people that showed up there that and I got some other DJs to help me play too, and you meet people and they're like, oh yeah, my mom has MS, and oh shit. And when I hear stuff like that, I always got to ask, well, how is she, man? Like, how are they? Sometimes you hear like not so good, but I try my best to be a positive light for them in that moment. Like, hey man, well, tell them to keep pushing, man. Tell them to keep working. Tell them to keep, whatever makes them happy, and you make sure they're happy.
Yeah.
That's the best way to. That's the best way to be something like this, man. You just got to be happy. Find your way. Find your peace.
Man.
Yeah, music's my piece, bro. That's my release. Oh man, I mean, I'm a music hoarder, man. I can't stop digging for music. It's terrible, bro. It's a gift and a curse. You saw my library. You saw the way that shit's put together. I can't find anything in there for the life of me.
Messy.
Hey, I already said it. But no, man. I mean, I have this thing about digging for music, and I know for sure it goes back to like my roots when I started. But I have to get music, bro. I have to. If I hear a song I like, I have to download it. I have to get it. I have to go to Bandcamp. I have to buy it. I have to do something. I have to have it because I have tracks I haven't played in 3 years. I've listened to them twice, and I do a project or a mix, and there's that fucking song from like 2 years ago that I have never played it but twice. And I think to myself, this is what it's all about, man. I got you. You came to the table and you helped me out.
How young were you when you found this like drive to finding new music?
Oh man, I was in high school, bro. I was a kid. I started DJing when I was like in 8th grade, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. I would any money that I
Crate digging back then? Like
yeah.
vinyls?
Yeah. I had vinyl, man. I had 2 turntables, the needles. I know what it is to break a needle. You know what I mean? I know what it is to carry around some vinyls and stuff and
CDs?
oh yeah, man.
Cassettes?
That too. I had all that shit. I mean, that's showing my age, right? But yeah, man.
Well, I went through all of them. So like CDs was my age too, you know what I mean? So I was gonna say, how do you you can burn CDs and stuff, rip them. Same thing with I guess I've seen how you can maybe sample some vinyl, but like, how do you? Were you using cassettes to make mixes too?
Yeah.
How does that work? I know that's a thing. I'm not. I'm not
Oblivious to it.
There's a
Yeah.
mixtape out of a cassette. Like I get it, but what was the
Everything
process
was
behind
everything
burning
was,
it onto the cassette?
well, back then it was like I would have my tape decks, and I'd have it plugged into the input. So I would do everything and
Would
then
you need to
record it
get
live.
like a strip of cassette, and it would be recording onto the thing, or
No, I would just do it like on the whole cassette by itself. Just throw it in the deck and just hit record. I mean, I think
oh, okay.
that was like a one take Jake, bro. I didn't have editing, so I had to be right. And a lot of times, if I fucked up somewhere, I had to start from the very beginning. And if I was really, really adamant about doing something, a project, back then, of course, it was like I'd have to do it over and over and over again until we got it right, because there's no editing. You can't edit something like that on a cassette, at least back then. Right, right. So you just couldn't. So it had to be that. And that's where all that stuff for like digging for music came from, because in those days, man, in that time in my life, mixtapes were huge. DJ Clue, Dirty Harry, I mean, all these crazy DJs, man, that they were making these mixes, and they were like musical art masterpieces, man. Like they're just, especially Dirty Harry, man. That's one of my favorites of all time. I'm very inspired by that dude. But it was all about finding like the newest music. I mean, like DJ EFN, that dude got like a phone call from Puff Daddy like in the 90s for playing Biggie's album before it even came out. But Biggie's the one that gave him that album. So he says, man, this is my only shot. I'm gonna play this motherfucker on live radio all through New York. So Diddy put like a green light on him. I'm like, hey, bro, you're dead when I see you, bro, because you can't just leak a whole fucking album. But it was finding that exclusive. Everything was like the newest shit, the coolest shit, everything that you could get before the radio. And that's what I was doing, man. I had like connects here in the city that had CDs and all this stuff like that I can reach out to and like, hey, man, you guys got anything new? Yeah, man, come by. So I'd pay, for the CD or whatever, but I have music that was even before the radio. And I was doing mixtapes in high school for like, yo, check it out, man. I guarantee you, bro, this shit's going to be out on the radio. So it was something like that. That's where all that came from. So now, I mean, that's where the hoarding is, bro. I just hoard and hoard and hoard and hoard. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't get songs. I mean, shit. There's days where I come home and I'm see what I got, man. Like I got 20, 30 songs in a day of stuff that I just heard that I was like, wow, I need this. And there's just different, vibes and stuff, man. You find it's just, yeah, that's my passion, man. It's been my biggest passion.
Where are you going to like now? In the digital age, where are you going to like discover music at? Like SoundCloud? Are you a big SoundCloud guy?
Yeah, I'm a big SoundCloud guy.
When it comes to like if I want to listen to new music, for me, I've kind of already created a system for me. And I'll just go ahead and listen to my Discover Weekly every week on Spotify.
Yeah.
But it's only 30 songs a week.
Yeah.
And then my Release Radar, which is also another like 30 songs. So where, like, are there certain accounts on SoundCloud that you always go to that are always putting daily mixes? What do you...
I tap in daily, bro, to I do it in waves, man. Like I'll hear SoundCloud so much that there's nothing new anymore. Like I listen to it that much that I say, oh man, all right, this there's nothing here anymore. I gotta find something else. So then I'll go to YouTube Music. And YouTube
Okay,
Music is
true.
fucking nuts, dude. There's so much shit in there that you don't even realize, man. So that
Type beats?
bro, I'll sit there for like a week or two, just just gathering shit. And then through all that too, like, if I'm gonna drive home or whatever, I'll throw on Spotify, like how you're saying, the radar, the drops or whatever, the playlist that they made for me, because the algorithm's already set up. So like I'm constantly, I mean, I have so many shit. I have SoundCloud, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify.
You go to Discover Weekly ever on
Yeah,
Spotify?
Yeah. All the time.
How often are you listening to like your existing library versus like Discover-based libraries?
My system is kind of tripped like that, bro. Like everything I download, I listen to it. I mean, on my way home.
Yeah.
When I'm out with the family or whatever, if I'm, we're in the making food or making dinner, whatever. Like I always have that music playing. So I get familiar with it. It's not just something that I get and I forget about it.
So like when you guys are whipping up dinner and stuff, is there music playing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there has to be.
What was I gonna say? If you combined all of your listening apps to just one, and then it showed you your stats at the end of the year, like you know how Spotify does the rap, how many hours do you think you would have logged in on listening to music if you just combine all of them?
Well, shit. Let's see if you go.
You have a wrapped for like every app. It's just
Yeah, I do, bro. I got for sure. I can tell you, I probably listen to about 3 hours of music a day, 4 maybe, constant. Yeah, I work. I have a headphone in. I'm working and doing stuff. I'm listening to music. On my way home, I'm listening to music. When I get home, I'm listening. Like there's always. So if you say 3 hours a day, 365 days a year, I mean, that's quite a bit, bro. You do the math. I thought you were gonna get it.
Okay. So, how much of your discovering music is like you stumble upon singles and all, remixes and everything like that versus this dude just dropped a new album. I gotta play beginning to end.
Nah, I don't do that, bro. I don't use
You don't really spend whole albums.
No. It's been years since I've been like doing the whole album thing.
Any reason why? Any reason why you haven't found an album that's just I gotta hear this front to back?
Well, Isaiah Rashad's one of those rappers that I'll listen to front
Okay.
to back. J. Cole's another one I'll listen to front to back. Mick Jenkins is another one I'll listen to front
Ooh,
to back.
man, sick, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Thank you for saying that. Not a lot of people know Mick Jenkins.
No, they don't, bro. They don't.
Here they don't at least.
No, they don't. But
I'm
he's
sure you go to Chicago, everyone knows Mick Jenkins.
he's dope, bro. Yeah, that guy's no joke. And he's all about it too.
Do you feel it's because people like artists themselves have sort of ditched the album format, and
Yeah.
so there's not a lot of people who are really making them like that no more?
Definitely, man. Because the streams now, that's it. You can make a bag off a stream
Off one song,
for one song, and that's it.
8 singles.
Yeah, and you're done. So nobody puts that craft work into an album anymore. I mean, you listen to Biggie's "Ready to Die" or whatever, and you're hearing interludes, and you're hearing intros, and you're hearing, you know what I mean? It was art, and they don't have that anymore. We've gotten ourselves to this place as a society, I guess, where we just we want to hear it now. We want to hear the best thing right now. We want to make the money off of it right now, and that's it. We're done.
Yeah, you got a banger song. There's no time to craft a sequence of songs around it. Got to get it out now.
Let's get it out now. Now.
And then put up the sped up version, the slowed down version, the instrumental version, the acapella version, and then just release that as a 5-song EP. And it's just different versions of it.
Yeah.
You seen those?
Yeah.
Oh man, they drive me crazy because
so-
they're all designed for like TikToks and reels and stuff. You know, you put the slowed down version over something aesthetically pleasing and whatnot. You know what I mean?
You see, that's what I'm saying. That's why for me, hearing the whole album now is not the same as it was before when albums were being made with drive, passion, love. You know, there was art in it. Now it's just, I mean, let me see if I can get a hot song. Let's get a bunch of TikTok streams and reels, and then that's it. I made it. I made some money. You know, guys like that can go on and get a tour off of one song.
Off of TikTok.
So like the intentions are different.
Yeah, I believe so.
Torn off of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I mean, I think that's what it is. That the intention now is not to put out something that's gonna be, you know, loved collectively
And digest it over
yes,
multiple listens.
Exactly. It's not that anymore. Everything, and a lot of that is us, man. It's the
listener.
the listener, the age that we're in today, where we just have cell phones, bro. We want it now. Want it all right now. I don't want to
have all that library on Spotify right now. I want it all now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't gotta flip no CD I don't gotta take a CD out and change it out for another one.
Right. All you gotta
Or I don't have to go home and download it and put it in my iPod first. Like
it's just as simple as, hey Siri, do this, play this song, and it's over.
yeah.
You don't.
The spans have gone down.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. So nobody wants to hear an interlude of a song that's gonna lead into something else.
Oh,
you know, and that's
it breaks my heart.
Yeah, and that was the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of the craftsmanship of making albums.
Do you think, as the listener, like we've learned how to listen to music differently? Because like when I listen to an interlude, my imagination goes wild.
Mine too.
But like if someone who's like just skipping it, like what do they think of when they're listening to that interlude? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
are they not also imagining crazy wild worlds and stuff?
I think as a, and I think as creatives, I see you're creative. I think we automatically look at something like that and say, how can we, like you might hear an interlude and say, how could I put this on a video, or how can I add this to picture montage or whatever. How could I add something to this? How could you know what I mean? Whereas I think just the average listener is just wants to just get to the song and be done with it. It has a lot to do with attention spans for sure. But yeah, I think as creatives we tend to look at it and be like, well, how can I do something with this? Or how can I? Or this makes me feel a certain way. We're very much in tune to how we feel about shit, which most people like listen to the radio or whatever, and that's all they care about. It's cool, man. They don't mind. It's just something in passing. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, that does. That's crazy though, how like two different minds work. You know.
Yeah. And you think, you kind of just when you kind of sit back like that and you think about it, and you said it too. You just said about the music, how it's changed. You remember there was 5-minute songs, 6-minute songs.
They're my favorites.
I mean, it was like the song starts, the chorus, verse, bridge, out.
The 3 verses too. People barely even do 3 verses in a song no more.
Now it's 2 verses, bro, and that's it. Oh, those songs used to be over 5 minutes long. They've been cut down to 2.5. I think again the attention span of people has changed heavily. Nobody wants to sit through 5 minutes of a track. I can't. I mean, but that's just me. I'm always gonna change the song before it ends. I'm bad at that, bro. I'm bad at that. But
You're a DJ.
Yeah, but I'm bad at that. So I cannot listen to an entire song just by itself. So 2.5 minutes for me off a dope track, I'm like, that's great. I like it. Let's keep moving with that. But it works out for me. But I can see where, people get shortchanged a little bit. But it's at our own hands. Because we're the ones that are doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's really easy to make a really long, like a really dope song, but because it's only like two and a half minutes, it's like you didn't have to like give it that extra love and care. You're like, okay, 2.5 minutes, it's boom, it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I love 5-minute songs. And then to interludes, imagining worlds and stuff. I feel like the interludes are what helps me understand the album a lot more.
Yeah.
Because interludes could also, there could be deliberate interludes within a track list, but then there's also a song that's like 5-minute song, and like the first minute and a half was what do you call it? Like an intro to the song, like just like a slow piano intro or something like that.
That's where the soul is.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where like a lot of the storytelling aside from lyricism is being told, and it's just like, man, dude, that's what makes the album whole, rather than albums today where it's just kind of like a collection of singles as well.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's a collection of singles.
I'm always trying to look out for albums. I'm always excited for when someone does drop an album, but I am always kind of prepared for it to be that. But I think I've gone ahead and shaped out the artists that I listen to be people who I can expect them to create an album.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't all just hip hop either, man. I listen to a lot of like indie and a lot of Spanish indie and stuff like that, and I feel like they make complete bodies of work.
Yeah,
Isaiah Rashad I'd consider to be one of those artist albums.
Who?
Did you listen Isaiah Rashad?
Oh yeah.
You listen to Mr. Morale?
Oh yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Oh man,
bro,
19 songs of just narrative, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, and that's what I like about him. He's purposeful. He has intent about with his projects. I mean, you're not gonna get bullshit from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll catch a single, but even that single is like kind of crafted to that vibe, to that piece. And it like how you said, like those intros and stuff like that, people don't really give respect to them, man. But to me, that's the soul of the track. That's the heart of it.
Yeah, those are my favorite parts of the songs.
Yeah, man, because you start to, this is kind of, it gives you the feel. It lets you know where you're going. How you kind of hang on to it for a little bit, and then once it drops, it's like, oh shit, there it is. Mm-hmm. That's one of the dopest parts of those intros. Like just losing that shit, and then all of a sudden when that beat drops and it hits, and you know it, and it's just a good beat, good drums. Like, fuck, I'm good here, man. It was well worth that wait.
I gotta go ahead.
Do you ever give yourself goosebumps? Like when you work on something and you do a transition?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time, bro.
Shit, man.
All the time. I'll tell her, I'm like, look. Because my hairs will stand up, bro.
Do you know any of like the physics behind that?
I had heard there's not a lot of people that have that can have that. I heard that I've read certain things like on Instagram and stuff, but I don't know really too much about why it happens.
It's called frisson. It's like a French word. And what it is there's when your neurons are firing as it's processing the music, it'll sync with the beat. So like your brain starts beating with the music, and at certain frequencies, for whatever reason, it triggers that like euphoria and just that like sense of wholeness almost, and like love and warmth.
Yeah. Well, see, then that makes perfect sense of like with back to my MS and shit, right? Like, look at what it's doing. Look what music's doing for the brain. So if it's firing off all these neurons, that's great for me. If my neurons are firing off, that means I have a healthy brain that's doing its thing, it's doing what's supposed to do. And when I get those, oh man, I embrace them. I embrace it completely. I get happy when that happens to me because I said, oh, that means I'm onto something. Especially when I'm working on something. Like if I'm working on an intro to a mix or something like that, and it gives me goosebumps. Hell, even if it makes me emotional, like bro, I'm like, wow, my fucking brain put all this together, and then it manifested on this digital file, and I'm actually listening to what my brain and my hands put together. Like, of course, it gives me chills, man. Shit, after not DJing for like 7 years, when I had stopped in the first time, being able to come back and get those feelings again and feel like that, I was like, fuck, this is it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. I didn't know that. I'd heard about it. I'd heard that.
Yeah.
But I did not heard the name, but I didn't know about that stuff.
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. Look at you, David.
It's all frequencies.
Man, I'm excited to share the stage with you, bro. Cause like all that talk about music talk, man. I'm excited for March 22nd, baby. STEAZY nights. Let's go.
Ooh, that's gonna be nuts, man. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait to rehearse a bit some more, man. Cause like the last time, dude, that rehearsal was so nice, bro. We're gonna kill it.
Oh, it's
man.
only gonna get better.
I know, like that was just us kind of finding foundations real quick, and now we're about to
Yeah, man. It was
sculpt.
yeah,
We're sculpting marble right now.
yeah. And I was telling my wife about it. I was like, yo, bro, I didn't go to sleep that night till like 12 o'clock, cause I was just excited about it. I was like, man, so we're gonna do this, and then we already got the set list, and then we already know this, we already know that. I said, okay, cool. So then I just need to think about, how can I make his set better? How can I, like, that's always been a goal of mine, bro. I've always wanted to DJ for an MC, like Gangstar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Premier and Guru. To me, that was like, oh man, I mean, you got a guy that's master of ceremonies, he's doing his thing, but there's that motherfucker in the back that's fucking cutting up or doing shit or adding to it to make this whole scene work even better. I mean, it's cool to just be in the back, bro. I need to be in the front. Like, it's cool to be in the back while they're chilling.
Yeah, I got you on the front, man. But no, yeah, dude. I felt like I couldn't just have my instrumentals just getting played up like in a queue, like, oh, what's next? You know what I mean? When we went ahead and extended the instrumental for me to actually introduce myself, I was just thinking, dude, this is the magic I need in here, like,
Yeah.
like I talk sometimes in my shit, and I have long verses sometimes that, like, you know what I mean, or some of these songs are still these are like demos in their demo form still, so I'm doing like an early presentation of my upcoming album. But man, like being able to flex those instrumentals and stuff before they're really like made for live presentation, you're like a one-man band, dude. You're like you're I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even know where I'm going too much with that, but like,
No, it was dope, bro. It was dope. Like, we're doing that was those flutes, huh?
yeah, it's because like I've never worked with a DJ before. So the same way that you're wanting to go ahead and run the tables for an MC, I'm wanting to go ahead and see that experience too. Because like for me, honestly, personally, it's been hard for me to I feel like perform too much because like I told you I was spoiled. I started off with a band, so I was like, oh my god, dude, like I need to keep this bar up every time. So we had already gone ahead and worked together a little bit, seeing what we were gonna do. But here we're locked in. There's a date. We got to be ready by this date, so we got our rehearsals lined up and everything. But like last week, it was just, oh man, breath of fresh air, like a sigh of relief, because like I was just nervous. I was like, dude, I've never performed, I guess in theory, without a band. So I was like, oh man, is this gonna hit or not? I just felt like it wouldn't have hit the same, but I feel like what we're gonna do is fucking sick, man.
See,
it was such a pleasant surprise. And I'll stop there now.
No, bro. I appreciate you, man. Because for me too, it was like to be in a creative space like that, dog. Like, it was like we were just bouncing ideas off each other. We were just talking, like, hey man, what about this? Or hey, what about that? Or what? Okay, so what if I cut you off here? Or shit, wait. Why don't we just loop this? Can you loop it? Yeah, I can loop it, bro. I'm a DJ, bro. Like, let me loop it, and that kind of stuff, man. Like, for us to sit there and kind of start putting together this puzzle, and let this shit kind of fester and marinate. You know what I mean? That's why I'm excited for the next rehearsal that we have, bro. Because I know that it's gonna start to. I think from here on out, it's gonna just get like crazy better.
Yeah, what we're gonna be rehearsing now is like the flow of everything, rather than these are the songs that I'm gonna show.
Right.
I think that's what a lot of our first rehearsal was like. These are the ones I want to do. It's kind of the order that I'm thinking about doing them in. So I'm excited for the next one because yeah, man, that shit's cool. Like super, like what I'm trying to present is a little bit of a demo presentation of my next album, along with like the rollout of it, like just the new era of Groovy Schmokes, and like I just feel pairing up with, because it's such an album that's just me wanting to display as much raw hip hop and lyricism as I can, and I feel like there's no better DJ than to be paired up with than with you, man. Like honestly, you're like an appreciator of hip hop, dude.
I appreciate you, man.
And you get it in the same way that I feel I do. So I'm fucking excited for that chemistry to be displayed at Love Buzz, motherfuckers.
Love Buzz.
March 22nd. Groovy Schmokes, midnight at the laundromat. STEAZY nights.
Tell him.
Shout out to STEAZY for that shit, man.
Yeah, man, that's dope. And then thanks to the venue too for giving us an opportunity, man.
It's gonna be
STEAZY.
so sick.
Shout out
dude.
to him, bro, because that's the beauty of it, man. Like having people such as yourself and Stan and everybody like that in that community that are down to stretch their hands out and work together. It's as long as you want to work, man, then just get to work.
Yeah, that's gonna be a nice lineup too, man. Got Ralph the Ruckus, App Swan. That's gonna be a good. That's just like a good variety of hip hop, bro. So I like that shit for real.
And I like that it's starting to come out in the city, man, because I feel like El Paso's a lot of EDM. That's or Mexican music, but EDM is like reigns king here. Most of the DJs that you see running around the city are EDM DJs. So I mean, that's just kind of. I mean, that's cool. I mean, EDM's cool, but I think I'm a bit strange with it, bro, because like EDM makes me fall asleep. I think the redundant drums, the like the melodies and stuff like that,
It's dizzying.
Yeah, it gets me.
Hypnotizing.
I mean, it's hypnotizing. Like I'll be fucking with it, I'll dig it, I like it, whatever, and then after a period of time with it, I'm like, all right,
Man.
either I'm tired, either I'm already like you've already gotten me up, you know what I mean? And like I can't. I'm already like, where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Like 140 beats per minute. How much faster do you guys want to go? You know what I mean?
I feel you, man. I feel you. Now, yeah, I feel like there's a big gap with a few genres in the city, and it's not so much that there's like the talent's not there. It's more so like the spotlights aren't on it as much as I'd like for it to be. That's the big mission behind MF Pearl, honestly, is to kind of fill in like that void, like that gap that's being created, because there's a lot of favoritism towards like I think just a handful of genres when really there's a lot of genres to celebrate. So that's what our contribution is trying to be, is to like shine light through a video presentation of these genres that we feel because there's like a lot of musicians that I love, dude, that I don't think get booked here all that often, and I feel like Lowbrow's carrying a lot of that like weight on their back, dude.
Yeah, they are.
And I'd like to try to find a way to bring artists in our own sense, which is like, we invite them to the studio, film them and all that stuff. But like now there's two sources of people bringing in these groups of artists, because like only one venue can only do so much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they're leading the way right now, bro. I mean, they just had Talib Kweli. That was
dude,
one.
they get a lot of crazy names, recognizable names,
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like a lot of other venues could totally do the same to like help contribute to that, but they're not. So
That's
I
just
feel like there's just so much opportunity. So we want to seize on that. We want to seize on that opportunity.
to me. That's an El Paso thing, bro. And I love my city. This is like I think this is the greatest city in the world, bro. I mean, I just feel like we're kind of locked in on certain things, and
we know what we like.
we know what we like, and we're just gonna kind of roll with that. And that's the same thing like with artists and DJs as well. Like once a venue has this and that, then they're good. Like they're not gonna branch out. They're not trying to, and they're okay with that, and that's fine. That's okay too.
Yeah.
Do your thing. That's your prerogative. But I feel like this fucking wonderful city of ours, bro, has so many creative and dope people.
Yeah.
Like you don't even realize it, man. Like I mean, you do. I mean, but people listening, like they don't realize it, man. How many dope artists you have in this city that are doing shit.
It's scary to think about. If we orchestrated the proper like launch pads, we could probably be sending out a bunch of artists out into the world to go and like get big in like the larger music cities and stuff.
Oh, for sure, man.
I feel like we haven't taken the time to build those launch pads, man.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, but it's because of pioneers like you guys, man, that you're doing something. You guys are pioneers for this shit. This for this community. You guys are not. Nobody else is really doing what you guys are doing. Nobody else is doing that kind of stuff. Nobody's making that kind of effort to I mean, give love and show love to others. To give people a platform to talk and express and be just be better, man. I mean, you guys are the pioneers for that. So, man, I mean, shit, I thank you guys for that for sure. I hope the city and the people that hear it, spread the word and tell a friend, man. Give it to their peoples, give it to their friends, their families, their neighbors. I mean, it's like one of those things about kindness, man. It doesn't take much to tell a friend of yours or somebody else that, hey, man, there's this dude or there's this DJ or there's this podcast. I mean, it's not hard to do, and I just kind of feel like when people do that, the universe rewards you, man. Like it'll come back to you tenfold, because you're pushing others. You're helping others. I mean, to me, that's a big thing. I mean, if you can help people like that, man, why the fuck wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a lot of hate, man. There's a lot of haters here too.
I could be a hater.
I can be a hater, bro.
I can be a hater sometimes for sure. What's your like? Okay, so you know how we both had we had a performance at La Parada.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of your ways of tapping into local talent? Like, do you try to go to live shows like that per se, or?
Shit, man, I need to be better at that. Actually, I'm an introvert, bro. I'm out. I'm DJing, but that's kind of the whole reason why I started DJing. I wanted to go to the parties, but I didn't want to be in that party. I wanted to be with my friends, but I wasn't trying to be in the middle of all that and back and forth with people. And so for me, DJing was like, oh shit, I can still be at the party and be in it, but not of it. So like I'm contributing to it. But there's a table in front of me, so just stay right there, man. You're good. But I need to be better at going out and
DJing is like that nice safety net for you. You'd say
it is.
Yeah,
it always has been. I mean, it's one
keeps
thing.
you occupied.
It keeps me occupied, bro. Like I don't have to. I mean, you get the random people that want to come up and request a song or whatever, and that's cool. But I like that there's some space between me and everybody else. I don't have to be up in everybody's business or have somebody that I don't really. I mean, not that I don't like or don't really fuck with or whatever that wants to talk or whatever. And I'm like, nah, man, I think I'd rather just be home. But I need to be better at that because I wanna show more love, bro. I mean, the people who have shown me love and come out to my gigs and stuff like that, I mean, they can't even imagine how much I appreciate them, bro. Like when you go home at night and say your prayers, bro, I'm thanking God for them, for even bothering to come take time out of their day just to come kick it. Even if it's just in passing 30, 45 minutes and then they dip off to the next spot. Mm-hmm. To me, just to take that time, it just speaks volumes. And I really appreciate anybody who does. And anybody who listens for that matter. Like, they don't even understand, man. It's just, I have such a profound amount of gratitude towards those people. And I need to be better about going out and doing things about, getting out there, discovering other artists, showing some support, bro, showing some love. Showing love to local, because usually when you go out to an event like that, there's a local food truck or somebody that's out there. You know what I mean? So it kind of just trickles down, man. You go see a show and grab a burger or whatever from, your like Star Burgers or whatever. And,
that Star.
Yeah.
I fuck with that Star.
Yeah, dude, they're good, bro. That's
Star
crazy,
burger,
man.
damn.
And that taqueria, too, that Tiger one, too. Mm-hmm. That's no joke. I mean.
Oh, Sheepdog got good food trucks there.
And now they got Social Ice there too, bro. Social Ice is dope.
Damn, I ain't even had Social Ice up until this day yet.
No.
What is it?
It's good, bro.
What they got?
They got a bunch of shit, man. They got funnel cakes. They got, I mean, what is it, like ice creams, different flavors of ice cream and stuff.
It's like shaved ice?
No. I think they have that too, but they have like mangoñadas and stuff, right? Social Ice. Yeah, they got, I mean, but,
yeah, for you.
Yeah, bro, they cook, bro. They get busy. They get busy on the sweets.
Social Ice. The sweets.
The sweets, bro. They hit you, man. And shout out to them because they really been a big supporter from day one. And I always just feel terrible, man, because I don't eat sugars and stuff like that. So I always want to go and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my girls, my kids, they'll get it off of that. They get in on that.
I'm about to check them out at some point because
Well, they're there now at old Sheepdog.
all the time
Yep.
they're building up that lot, man.
Well, they were, yeah, bro. That's just gonna be crazy.
Hey, Marcus too.
Man, that the vision that Gus had for that location, that area, he told me during the pandemic, and I thought, damn, that'd be dope if you do accomplish that, man. And sure as shit, he's fucking accomplishing it right now, bro. Like it's happening, and you're like, motherfucker, everything you said, like you were gonna do, you've accomplished it. I mean, they're growing like crazy. God damn, man, you gotta like give shouts out to them, man, because they deserve that shit, bro. Heavy.
Yeah, dude.
They
do
do so
that
much.
shit evolve, man.
They do so much for the community. They do so much for the city. I mean, and they don't even ask for nothing, bro. They don't ask for nothing out of you. They're just happy to be helping others. So man, you know that's that. Yeah, that what they're doing over there is dope, man. They got that art gallery over there now, Mystic Desert.
Yeah. Shout out Gabe.
Yeah, Gabe's dope, bro. That dude's a monster too.
This is the second ad placement, by the way. I imagine.
But no, I mean, it's crazy what they've done. It's crazy what they're doing.
Yeah,
and they're not stopping anytime soon, man. I mean, they're on the way.
Dude, they're just getting started, bro. Like that's gonna be a long established, just like environment. I don't even want to just like give it a smaller name of business. Is just like it's a vision. That's gonna be a long established vision, bro. Like the way they're playing that shit out, man. And I'm really happy to just collaborate with them. And honestly, man, I feel like a big reason why I think it was easy for you and I to connect is also because I think there's just like, I think right on surface level, we look at each other's like a profile or something like that, or like what we're doing, and you see we're both connected in the same sense. So there was already like that, damn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this guy's a little sheepdog, and I fuck with little sheepdog.
This guy's fucking with hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First glance, I see DJ, I'm thinking, man, I don't want to listen to another fucking dance mix, bro. You know what I'm saying? But then I find out, oh, he's a hip hop DJ. Let's go. Let's start checking it out. And I'm like, asking me about Plugs Cry 2 and shit, bro. I'm like, no electronic DJ's gonna be asking me about no Plugs Cry 2.
Bro, when I heard Plugs Cry 2, actually, shit, I think I even...
How do you find Midnight Sessions, though? How did you find the series itself?
I think it's because of the social media presence, bro.
Okay.
So you must have posted something.
Well, Gus is also was sponsoring that season.
Well, see, then I'm pretty sure I saw that,
been the mutual.
and that's how it happened. Because that's how I stumbled on you guys, and you, well, más bien. Like I saw that and I heard Plugs Cry 2, and I was like, holy shit. I'm sorry, brother. I had to screen record that shit, make it an MP3, bro. And I played it too. And I think I even hit you up and I say, hey man, look,
you talked to me about it. Yeah, I was cool with it, bro.
I was like, I think I'm gonna just play it, bro, if you don't mind. I was gonna play it anyways on some G shit, bro. Like even if you would have said no, I'd have been like, oh man, all right, well, sorry.
I gotta spin this shit regardless.
I have to. So and that was the last track on that mix too. I don't remember the mix.
How should I feel about that, D? Should I feel like not cool? But I'm just kidding.
I think that's pretty dope.
Nah, just fucking around.
For me, bro, I was like, nah, man. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, bro. Something dope. How the fuck am I not gonna share this? And then he's from El Paso, and then come on, man, live. And then I'm a sucker for live instrumentation, bro. Like I hear live shit, man. Like NPR Tiny Desk concerts, bro. So, man, I have a whole folder of music from Tiny Desk. I actually did a set, like an hour. No, bullshit. Maybe about 45 minutes, 30 minutes of live music from NPR and concert footage and shit like that. That I was like, nah, man. I was at Craft and Social. I was like, I'm gonna play this. And fat shout out to them, bro, because they don't tell me shit either. There's a lot of venues that you can get picked up and say, oh man, we've heard your shit. We heard your mixes. We think you're great. That's awesome. But tonight, you just make it like Bad Bunny kind of thing. And I'm like, bro, I'm not the one, man. I mean, there's nothing wrong with
Has that ever happened where they ask you that, like, when you arrive?
I kind of put my foot in the dirt first before it even happens. Like, what are you looking for, man? Because if this is what you're looking for, I mean, I respect.
You're saying before you even get in.
Before it even gets anywhere, bro. I'm like, nah, man. Look, I know your venue. You guys like this, so you guys want to hear this. Yeah. You know, man. Respectfully, I'm not your guy. I'm not. That's not my thing. Which, I mean, I guess as a DJ, you gotta play for everyone. It's not about you. It's about the dance floor. It's about the patrons. But I kind of pride myself on my digging and what I have and what I bring. I could play Bad Bunny. I mean, I got it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having Bad Bunny nights or Drake nights or none of that shit. That's dope. That's cool. That's what people like. But I tend to look at my craft and what I do with a little bit more passion, a little bit more reverence. I'm like, I don't really want to. I don't want to play something that I'm gonna be hating, or not be happy, because you're gonna feel you'll feel it, man. If a DJ's playing something he doesn't really care for, the energy's not there. You don't feel that. The crowd tends to feel that too. So I don't want to play something that I'm not passionate about. And if that costs me gigs, and well, I mean, so be it. I mean, that's fine. I always look back to saying like, well, I was cool doing mixes in my bedroom. That was fine for me. So if I don't have a gig because I don't necessarily have all the bad bunny that you want for the whole night, well, sorry, man. I'm cool. I'm cool being at home. I'm cool chilling.
What happens when you're in the middle of a set and you kind of feel like the crowd, like how do you find your way to adjust through a crowd, maybe not feeling what you're starting with or anything like that?
That's just that's just over time. That's just practice over time, man. You start throwing tracks out there like spaghetti, man, and when it sticks, it's done. It's good to go. You'll start with something, and I always try to start with something that's kind of easy, kind of something that's not gonna be too like to make the listener kind of. I don't want to play something too outrageous, and then I'm like, what the fuck is this? Or I don't want to play something that's like
walk me through it. Walk me through it. Give me like some examples as you do. What's a song that's an easygoing intro song?
All right, I'll give you one. So yesterday we were playing at Tim, and the first song that I played was "What You Won't Do for Love." That was my first track.
By who?
Bobby Caldwell.
Okay.
That you were trying to test me on that?
No, I'm just asking.
Oh no, Bobby Caldwell, bro. Yeah. That was the first song, and that shit was like that shit came out in the fucking like 80s. That was a very vibey track, low impact, but it's a timeless classic, bro. So everybody in that room knew that song. It's one of those great songs, and it's not something that's gonna be like, oh, he's starting too hard, or just something just to kind of get there. But there was also like a couple there that was a little bit older, and she was asking me for like suavecito, and she was like, okay, you know what, man, let me kind of guide you this way.
I'll get you there.
Let me earn your trust.
Oh, okay.
So I played that. And
Walk with me.
And then after that, I got this really dope Sade, Is It a Crime song? But it's Cyrene. He's a producer. And he does some really dope shit, like adding like reggae beats over tracks. So I played that song next. And I mean I had that lady and her husband like
chilling.
They were chilling, bro. They didn't
Yeah.
they
This is the Zaragoza team, man?
Yeah. They stayed there longer than what they
planned
planned to, for sure. Because yeah, bro, when they were leaving her I guess they were like a family get together, and the other people took off, and I heard it say, oh, we're gonna leave right now too. But then the music kept going, and she was going, and he was like, hey man, I like your shit, bro. I dig it, man. So it's funny, man. You end up in these venues and you play for random spots like this, and you run into random people, and you realize that, I mean, good music is good music, man. And even if it's hip hop, I mean, or even if it's something else that's just a little bit more abstract, if it's good, it's gonna sit well. It's gonna be good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, man, I mean, I've been doing it like that for such a long time that like I kind of just throw what's out there, keep throwing it. Something's gonna hit.
Yeah.
And then once it hits, then it's money. I always say, like, when you do a DJ set, it's like flying a plane. I mean, you're gonna deal with the turbulence. It's gonna get kind of tough, but once you get cruising altitude, bro, and you're good, then you just let the music do its thing, and just present it in the best way possible, like the best way possible with all the love and reverence for it, man. Because if you don't do anything like that with it, then it's just gonna fizzle off. So that's kind of my process with the way when I start sets.
Yeah. So wanted to go ahead and ask I guess one more section of conversation before we go ahead and close off for the episode. But are you a person who I guess maybe believes in like defining your own mission? Have you found a comfortable thing that you like to live with as your mission?
No, that's
you're still searching. Would you say you're still defining it?
I'm still searching.
Well, what progress do you feel like you've made in that sense? Like, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, if I were to ask you to like tell me what you believe your mission is within music, how would you answer that question?
I want to create something that people keep coming back to. That's my goal. I want to create something that people come back to because they know that it's gonna make them feel good. They know that the person that's doing it is coming from a good place, a pure heart about it. I just want that to resonate with what I do. I want people to feel that. That's something that for me is like I'm still trying to figure out how I can build something that will allow me to have that type of like turnaround. That way people keep going, oh, you know, man, this guy put something out. I know it's gonna be good. I like what he does, and and build off of that. I'd like to eventually try to come up with something where I could do like a radio show, I guess, or like a weekly or biweekly thing where I where you're gonna hear something different. It's gonna be good. You just know it's gonna be. You know that whatever you're gonna come and listen to that day is gonna be. First of all, it's different and something that you're gonna be happy about. I want to get your Shazams ready, man.
Somebody works out. Like, let's say your show comes out 2 times a week, 5 p.m. Somebody works out 5 p.m. every day. They're like, on those 2 days, I'm locked in on that.
Yeah, I'm locked in on that. Yeah. Or they're doing cardio at the end of their workouts. Oh shit, you know what? I got 40 minutes to burn. Let me tap in and see what's going on. Let me hear the new shit.
I'm on the way. I gotta get through rush hour real quick.
That's my thing, man. I always create with that intention. Like, people are doing something. People have something to do. Driving, cleaning your house. Man, if you're cleaning, picking up around the crib, bro, and you have music blasting, it just makes that experience so much better. So for me, I was like, if I can get people to tap in when they're doing the everyday shit like that. I mean, I love when people tell me, I was doing homework and your mix was dope, man. I helped me really dial in with my homework. Like, I appreciate that, man. That's what it's for.
So we were discussing the mission behind music, and you were explaining to me the project that you're working on.
Yeah, I got a project. There's a project coming up, and it's a mixture that I'm doing that's MS related, and being that it's MS Awareness Month, I got with this guy. So when I got diagnosed, I went on Instagram right away, and I was just looking for positive people that have MS and see what I'm looking at. And I met this dude, Sekou Karadine. He's from Brooklyn, New York, and I just shot him a message, man. I was like, hey, how long have you had MS, and how many relapses have you had, and whatever. Long story short, right? So we just kept going back and forth. Whenever I do a mix, I would send it to him. Hey, man, check it out. And then he started giving me feedback. He's like, yo, bro, thanks, man. I heard this, on the train, and when I was walking to Brooklyn, I was doing some other stuff. Like, I got a chance to hear it, and it's really good, man. We should work together. They kind of just planted the seed. It's all right, cool, man. So this dude's dope, man. I mean, he's a good fucking dude. I've actually never met him in person. The only reason we've met was through the social media. So when I did this mix, I said, look, man, I want to do this. And I know we want to work together. So what do you think if we kind of collab on this? And he said, yeah, for sure. So he sent me a file today. I got to work with that file, but the rest of that project's like 90% done. So the whole thing of it is just people from like TED Talks that have MS, and positivity, of course, man. Like, people saying how they live with it, how they've battled it, how they're thriving with it. And all this is over landscape of music and instrumentals and hip hop beats. And they're all hip hop beats that are very easy to listen to. Like, I had that in mind. Like, I want you to be chill. If you just got diagnosed and you don't know what to make of it, or you have it and you're going through a struggle, and the music is uplifting, it's positive, and then you're hearing people that live with it speak highly of how they're making it through, that's kind of what the whole thing of it was. So when I sent it to him, and he was like, dude, I dig it, and he's already kind of put forth into another kind of production. He says anything that we do together is going to be called Drop Foot Productions. So that's something that he and I have in the works now. It's just dope, man. I mean, how beautiful social media and that whole deal works, man. That monster works, because here's a guy from El Paso, Texas, and a guy from Brooklyn, New York. Both of us have MS. We've both met through social media. We've both, kind of spoken to each other. He's been a very positive force in my life every time I talk to him. And for us to be kind of working on something like this together, that's a big deal for me, man.
Yeah.
Because I know he's gonna put his marketing team to work, and I know he's gonna do it too, and I know I'm gonna start marketing it as well as possible. So I think it's gonna be something beautiful, man. It could be one of those things that that blooms into something far greater than one can imagine.
Yeah.
Or even if it doesn't, man, it's just been a pleasurable experience to do it. But yeah, man, that's a big project that we have coming out. So big shout out to my boy Sekou for that. And yeah, man, that was like my big news for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's gotta come out in March then, right?
It's got to come out this week. It's either this week or sometime next week.
Oh, sick, man. And
it's
then
gotta be in March.
talk to me about it. Where can people find it at?
On SoundCloud, man. Look up Midnight at the
SoundCloud.
Laundromat on SoundCloud, Instagram, and you'll find me, man. I always throw out the links. I'm always, pretty active on SoundCloud. I mean, Instagram. So, I mean, yeah, you can find me there, bro. You'll find all those groovy mixes. And pretty soon, hopefully, me and you got something in the works, bro. Let's see what we can do.
You know what we got. Hey, yo, man, I was gonna say something at the end, but it kind of slipped my mind at the end about the music. It's okay. We're gonna have sequels here. We're gonna have sequels, and we'll cover those points again later.
No, let's do it again, bro. I'm down to do it again. I really appreciate the hospitality, man. Everything here is beautiful, man. You walk into the room and you can just feel the creative energy right away, man. So. Thank you, man. Thank you for that opportunity, bro.
Absolutely, it's long overdue too. We've been talking about it, and we've been talking about the music. So I'm super excited, man. I'm really excited. You're a good person to work with, dude. And you're a good dude overall, for real.
Appreciate you, brother. Likewise.
Midnight, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Once
brother.
more. Yes, sir. Some daps. You know what it is, brother? That's what we do out here. Live at MFHQ. We do it every Wednesday. As always, guys, make sure that you guys show some love to the show, whichever way you can. If you guys are checking us out on YouTube, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Keep up with Midnight Sessions, and Midnight at the Laundromat, but as well as the MFHQ as well. If you guys are checking this out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, make sure you guys rate it, like it, save it, whatever you guys can do to show love to the channel so we can keep growing. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, MF Pearl. Yo, one more shout out to our boy Gus for sponsoring today's episode. One more. Love you, Gus. Love you, old Sheepdog. Thank you as always. We appreciate you. And then we'll see you on the next Wednesday live at MFHQ. Yes, sir.
Peace.